Hello all my JavaScript friends, this is TheVirtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and this is our Jigsaw Puzzle game. Now before we get to the really fun stuff, and that's the UI and how the game was actually put together, I've got a couple more classes I want to draw your attention to. They're very small, what I call support classes. The first one is the statistics class. Let me just bring that up here. The statistics class is very, very simple. It is responsible for doing the statistics on the game. And if you go over to our main screen here, not main screen, but our Jigsaw Puzzle screen, that is all the little timing and everything you see at top here. Time to move, time moves, things like that. That is the statistics class, which is keeping count of that for us. Go back to our code. It's very, very simple. Here's where we can call to increment the time. Here's where we increment the moves, set the DOM, because this is also responsible for physically changing the DOM. If you want to reset the time and reset the moves with the new game, that will allow you to do that. This is our formatted time. This will allow us to be able to change that time, any which way we want to. For instance, if we ever do any kind of internationalization, this format may not work for everybody, so that will take care of that, but I'm not worried about that right now. This will set up the system where the game is finished. That when we know it's finished, therefore it will kind of stop all the time, the count down the times, count down moves, and all that. And then finally, this just does the update DOM. I mean, this is real simple. There's not a whole lot here, but I have a specific class that takes care of all the timing or keeps count of the timing and the moves. And the other one I want to show you, which we'll go into a little bit more detail, are my databases. Now, what are the databases? Well, let's flip over to our Jigsaw Puzzle screen again. And if I click on the New button, when I click on the New button, you notice there's three different sections to this dialog box. The first section is all my images, where I can come in here and select any image that I wish to. The second one is the cuts. This is the square cut or a jigsaw cut. And the third one is the number of pieces, in this case 12, 48, and 192. I'll hit cancel here. Those correspond directly to these databases that are listed right here. There we go. This corresponds directly to these particular databases. So this is the cut database. This database displays all the different cuts we have. This is the image database. This displays all the different images. And this is the num pieces database, which displays all the num pieces. Where do we get all this database information from? Well, I've got a particular directory down here that represents the different cuts. It's just a simple little JSON file. Let me bring up all three of these real quick. So for instance, this is the num pieces one. There's our 12, 48, 192. Here are the different images. It has different categories, names, things like that. No big deal there. And here are the different cuts, square and jigsaw. And these basically represent a database that may be out on the cloud somewhere. So if this game was actually online and you were playing it, I wouldn't be hard coding everything into a JSON file here. I would actually be going out to the cloud and saying, all right, what are my cuts available? What are the number of pieces that are supported for this particular jigsaw or this particular image? And what are the images that I want to display? So that is, in this particular case, these represents the different databases. And they're read in by these three database classes here. Now, all three of them are designed pretty much the exact same way. So we're going to take a look at the image one to show you as an example of what all three of them do. And it's very simple here. Here's a little reset that basically allows me to say, hey, use this particular database. This is mostly here just for us to be able to use the JSON files in this particular project. Again, if this was a real product, we may be going out to the cloud to be able to get the information. Category names, images have categories, and this just allows me to get category names. This gives me all the different IDs. Each particular cut, each particular image, or number of pieces has an ID. This allows me to get it based upon ID. This allows me to, this is the get image, and each one of the routines has a get image itself. If the image is an actual JPEG picture, which the images and the cuts are, for instance, if we go back to our screen, and let's click on the New button again. The images are an actual JPEG image. The cuts are an actual JPEG. The num pieces is just a number within a little box. Let's now go back over to our code. So the get image is used particularly on all three of these classes to be able to grab whatever image is available to us, whether it's the JPEG or, in the case of the numbers, just the number within a box. And it's just a very simple little promise in which we create ourselves a new HTML image, set the ID, set an attribute. On the load, we'll resolve it. So once it's loaded up, we resolve the image element, and that will go back then to the get image, because every time when we call get image within our UI, which we'll see in another video, it's all within a promises. So it promise, get me this particular one, get me this particular one, get me this particular one, and so on and so forth. And once all those promises are resolved, then it displays everything on the screen. And in the case of images, it's 5 of them. In our example, in the case of the cuts, it's 2 different ones here. And of course, we just have ourselves a little on error, but this is the typical average way you would load up a JPEG or any kind of image within JavaScript. And again, the cut does the same way. The num pieces is just a tad different on the get image. See, all it does here is it does the same thing. It's still a promise. That's important. But this time it just does a simple little span and puts a number inside of there and makes it, add some classes, makes it all nice and pretty and everything. And that's pretty much it. All the databases run this exact same way. So I know I can always do get all image IDs, get all the IDs, and get an image. So no matter what database I'm working with, I can just call the get image, kind of like a factory, and know that I will get the information that I need, whether it's a JPEG file or with a JPEG image, or it's a span in the case of none pieces. And that's basically it. In fact, that's pretty much all there is to it. These are just some very simple little supports classes that I have here on the game to help me get the game itself. Our next video is going to cover the really fun stuff, and that will be the UI, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel to view more videos. Click on the like button on this video and visit us at TheVirtuoid.com. Also, support us on Patreon, where you can get access to member-only videos. Links are down below. Again, thank you very much for watching, and keep on coding.